What's up, guys? This is Ian here, coach of your Ladner Lantern, bringing you guys the weekly recap for Week 5 of the NCL. Apologies that this is going up so late. We did have two matches extend into Monday of Week 6, and I wasn't around Monday night to get this out to you guys, so you'll see this on Tuesday. Um, let's sort of talk about this week. And if you don't know what the weekly recap is, then maybe you should go back and rewatch the other ones. But essentially, I go over the week in play in terms of move kills, kill leaders, and sort of go over each match and how they affected the standings. Getting right into things here, we have the move kill leaderboard for week 5. Earthquake, Ice Beam, and Scald at the top. Last week, I believe Scald was at the top, but Earthquake has got a lot of kills this week actually and moved itself into first place with 15 kills. Ice Beam sitting in second with 14, Scald with 12. There are actually no ties this week, which is weird. Flamethrower is currently sitting in fourth with 10, and Thunderbolt in fifth with 9. And then Hidden Power in sixth with 8, and then you start getting into some ties down there. In terms of unique move kills, we now have 87, I believe, adding like quite a few actually this week. Quite a few moves that I would have expected as well to have gotten kills but hadn't, including things like Heavy Slam just got its first kill this week. Leaf Blade, it's maybe not as surprising, but Leaf Blade got its first kill. Play Rough is the one that I was really surprised about. Last week's Shadow Ball, I was really surprised about. And now we have 7 unique Z move kills. Devastating Drake got a kill this week, and actually we got 4 more Z-move kills total. So there's actually, sorry, just let me check how many exactly it is now. There are now 12 total unique Z-move kills. Bloom Doom having 4 kills. It's actually tied with a bunch of other moves with 4, which is kind of neat. In terms of your kill leaders, Melodic stayed at the top once again. Nothing has really been able to catch up to Melodic yet, but they're getting close. Melodic hasn't come to the last 2 matches, so it's sort of been stalemating. But then Mega Altaria and Conkeldurr are both tied with a +7 differential right behind Melodic and its +8 differential. Sorry, they're both tied with a +6 differential. Did I type it wrong in the weekly recap? No, I didn't. I typed it correctly. They both have a +6 differential, but Mega Altaria has 8 kills and Conkeldurr has 9 now. So nothing has quite hit the double digits in terms of kills, but I'm sure we'll be seeing that next week. In terms of that, well, since there was a tie, it doesn't really show the full leaderboard. So tied in third place is Halucha of the Krabby Kadabbies and Kurum of the Adelaide Overheat, both going 7 and 2 up to this point, which leaves them with a +5 differential. And then I guess I'll sort of touch on this, but tied in fourth, I guess then would be Kurum Black, Zapdos, Tapu Bulu, and Komao, all with a +4 differential, which is kind of neat. Komao picking up 4 kills this week to boost itself up to that level, which is kind of cool. And yeah, that's the kill leaders. So heading into the standings, Jed ended up picking up a pretty clean win over Magic. Nice 5-0 win for him in a really long match, but it was a lot of preservation of health, and Jed played really, really well, I think. Yeah, picking up a really clutch win for himself. It was his biggest win of the season. He's had some really close games so far, and this was a kind of a blowout for him. Puts him in third in Hoenn. He's actually second in his division, so he's absolutely sitting in wildcard 1 at the moment. Um, so that's Jed, and then Austin took an unfortunate loss to me to break his winning streak, so he's no longer undefeated, and he actually moves to third in the division, which is by no means a downgrade whatsoever because he's still sitting in a playoff spot. He's in wildcard 1 at the moment, 1 game ahead of Cade. Um, Dom picked up a win over Nacho, I believe, this week. I think it was a pretty hefty win, like a 3-0 win or something like that. He moved himself into first in the Hoenn Conference and leading the Oldale division. He's actually only leading by 4 differential points at the moment over Judd, or 4 differential points in a conference win, I guess, so 5 differential points. Pretty clean win from Dom. I don't really remember too much about the game. I feel like it was pretty fairly hacks free, and Charizard ended up picking up the last kill, but it didn't need to really do much. I don't remember. I don't think I remember Charizard needing to do that much. Um, Nacho again losing to Dom, which is really unfortunate. He's sort of sliding this season. He'll be looking to bounce back as the season goes on. I know he was shopping Celesteela, so you might see some of the key parts of this team sort of fall away as he tries to salvage this season. or he's going to be able to play spoiler later on. It's not looking great for him, and honestly, we're almost at the halfway point. So um, I don't know. He is only 2 wins out of a playoff spot at the moment, but it's a big hurdle to climb at this stage. Matt actually lost this week, I think. Yes, Matt lost to Ben this week, so Ben remains undefeated, and we'll sort of talk about Ben when we get to him. But an unfortunate loss for Matt, which actually pushes him into fourth place in his conference in wildcard spot 2. He's now last in the Old Ale division, but that division is so close. It's as the Old Ale division is super close as well as the San Gem division, but the San Gem division's kind of just been tearing the league apart, and Old Ale is like really close, right in the middle of the pack. Cade picked up a win over Phil with using some illegal drops, but Phil ended up opting to not take the FF win, so he took the L, um, which kind of sucks in the grand scheme of things, but not much you can do about it. So Cade picking up the 1-0 win, still sitting with a negative differential just because his matches have been so close, but he does have a 2-game lead in his division, so he's sitting at the lead of the Twin Leaf division. Myself, I picked up a 3-0 win over Austin, pushing myself back into a really good position. If I lost, I would have been in a pretty bad position, to be completely honest. Sitting at 3-2 would have been really horrible in the San Gem division, but sitting at 4-1 is really good. I'm tied for the best differential with Ben. Both of us have plus 13, but he's got another win on me, which is actually more impressive for the second place to be tied in differential because it means I've had bigger wins than Ben has. Sitting in second place right now, which is actually wildcard 1 because I'm not leading the San Gem division, so that's kind of sucky, but there you go. Daniel picking up a win over Jay. So he's picked up 2 wins in a row now, both 1-0 wins, so his differential is still pretty bad, but the wins are pretty important, especially them both being conference wins is really important. He beat Jed and Jay 2 weeks in a row now. Congrats, Daniel. You're still not sitting in a playoff spot just yet. You're behind in differential, but you'll get there. Magic taking another big L to Jed. He's now actually in sole possession of. Well, he's tied for Jay for last place in the league, but he's in sole possession based on differential of last place. And potentially the draft may work that last place gets first pick next season. So this isn't the worst scenario for Magic in terms of that. Again, I'm still not a huge fan of his team, and I think he's been playing as well as he can around it, but he really doesn't have the type diversity to sort of last through the season. He's in a pretty rough spot now, 3 wins down. I think he's going to end up playing spoiler at a certain point, and there may be a certain point where he's actually mathematically eliminated pretty early on, just because of how competitive this season is. It actually ended up being that Mortal was eliminated in the last week last season, despite him being in last place, just because of how close that conference was. But this conference is not very close, so I would imagine that Magic is probably going to get knocked out at a reasonably soon, and you guys will see the playoff picture videos start going up in around week 8, or whenever the first elimination scenario happens, there will be a video about it, or the first clinching scenario, to be fair. Ben picked up another win over Matt and stays in first in the entire league, as well as first in the Sinnoh Conference and leader in the San Gem division. He's playing very strong. He's got a really good start to the season, and I'm excited to see how it can continue for him. Looking forward to seeing more of his battles. Thank God I don't have to battle him again because that was not fun. The matchup was really bad, and he's got a really good team. Ben is currently the holder of the highest win streak this season at 5 games. We'll see if he can top my record of 12 from last season. Sort of see if he can go on a tear there. And Jay, sitting last in the home conference, picks up another L. It was a pretty close match though. It was only a 1-0 loss to Daniel. He played it really well. I could have seen him pulling out that game. It was kind of weird what happened. He ended up calking Burn Swampert on his Rotom Mow and pretty much gave up the Rotom Mow, which was his way of beating Mega Swampert and Politoed. So he ended up losing to the rain there. And then Phil picks up a loss against Cade and the Krabby Cadabbies and makes the Hoenn Conference extremely close once again. So by no means is Jay knocked out because that conference is extremely close. It's Jay at 0 wins, and then you've got Daniel and Matt sitting at 2 wins, and then Jed, Dom, and Phil all sitting at 3 wins. So it's extremely close. It's a really tight knit pack in that conference, and so Jay is going to have the opportunity to continue to look for some wins and try and make playoffs for himself. So that's going to be it from me, and I will catch you guys for next week.